Welcome to the December 22nd, 2020 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We are glad you're with us. And for those watching on Facebook, we're also glad you're with us. And we will begin as we always do with the invocation. So would you all please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, please watch over this body as we make decisions for the good of our neighbors, for the good of our county, for the good of families here, and for the fine people of our community. Please watch over our first responders, our healthcare workers as they continue to deal with the pandemic. Please be with the families who have family members in the hospital or who have lost family members due to COVID. Especially, we ask your blessing on Hebbardsville Volunteer Fire Department Chief Scott Wilson, who is dealing with serious impacts from COVID. Please watch over our men and women in uniform overseas, law enforcement officers here at home. We say all these things in Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Master Southern.
Here.
Master Berry.
Here.
Master Moran.
Here.
Master Putman.
Here.
Master McCullum.
Here.
I noticed Butch is having a little orientation problems. If you want to keep working on that, Butch, flipping your phone around might hurt, but as long as, there you go. Good to go now. Okay. You learn something new about holding meetings in Zoom every time we have a meeting. You have before you the minutes of the December 8th, 2020 fiscal court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve. Second.
You have a motion from Master McCollum, a second by Master Berry. Any additions, corrections, clarifications? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. First order of business is to approve our fiscal court dates and holidays for next year. You should have that list in your packet. And
I move to accept the dates.
I second.
we have a motion from Master Putman, a second by Master Moran. I'll just say that these are typical holidays and dates for remaining second and fourth Tuesdays, except for an adjustment in December to avoid the Christmas holiday. So there's nothing new there. Any questions about those? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we have a little bit of an echo, so if everybody can make sure they're. Yeah. Okay, we have from the road department with us is Road Supervisor Earl Jewell, who's going to. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead one time. One real quick. Aquaphase handles our water treatment for both the Judicial Center and the courthouse. We treat the water to make sure it doesn't corrode our pipes too rapidly, and they have come back with their agreements for the new year, same price. Mr. Clerk, anything else unusual about these?
No, it's the standard. It's the exact same contracts that we signed last year, same pricing as last year. And Steve has viewed them and approved them.
And so we need a motion to approve those. Charlie, you're on mute. Sorry about that.
I move to accept.
Second.
So being on mute cost Charlie a motion there. So motion by Master Southern, second by, was it Master Putman?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Any questions about those? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Now, Earl Jewell, Road Supervisor, he's going to open up our road department fuel bid. And I believe, Mr. Jewell, we only have one bid. Is that correct?
I think so.
This here sheet. All right, should I read off all these?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell them who it's from.
Okay, the fuel bid is from,
Home Oil.
Home Oil and Gas. Unleaded gasoline, 87 octane, terminal price per gallon, 1.3648. Kentucky road tax, 0.246. Federal lust tax, 0.001. Kentucky lust tax, 0.014. Bidder margin, 0.0325. Total product price per unit is 165 or 1.6583. Okay, the number 2 diesel fuel, $1.5672. Road tax 2.216. Federal lust tax 0.001. Kentucky lust tax 0.014. Bidder margin is 0.0325. Total price per unit 1.8307. Then the off-road diesel is at 1.5702. Federal lust 0.001. Bidder margin 0.0325. Total product price per unit is 1.6037. And I'd recommend to go with the bid because it compares to last year.
Earl, did you say these are pretty comparable to last year?
Yes, sir.
With only one bid, I don't see why we'd need to maybe delay this for another meeting. Anybody have an objection to voting on it now?
No.
No.
Judge, I move we accept the bid.
I second.
We have a motion from Magistrate Putman, a second by Magistrate Southard on the fuel bids. Any other questions?
Just to interject, sir, we sent out about, I think, 6 fuel packets. What we find is most vendors, we're just too small of an entity for a lot of these larger vendors to contract to. So we remain constant with Home Fuel. Their prices have remained good over the last few years.
Good to know that. So we try to get bids. So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have Debbie Edwards with us from Animal Control. Debbie, turn the floor over to you. Are you with us still? There you go.
Hi, guys.
Oh,
Good morning.
Everything is going well here at the Humane Society. You guys do have the financials, and we're not actually having a board meeting this month due to the holidays, but we're regularly meeting on Zoom to keep up. And unless you guys have any financial questions for me, I don't really have anything to report other than us just moving forward. I would like to introduce you to our new marketing coordinator that we've hired. Does anybody have any questions until then?
Just a comment, Debbie. It's great that finances are definitely going up in the right direction. I
Yes.
guess my question would be, is there anything going undone? I mean, we're still doing the job as we're supposed to. Is it just that the business is a lot slower for us picking up animals, stray dogs and things like that?
No, they're really staying very busy.
Well, I know according to the sheets, it looks like it, but I just said, for that account to grow as it is, which is a good thing.
Well, I think a lot of the cost were 911 calls, which I think they've realized now that a lot of those can be handled during working hours. Unless it's an emergency call, animal control doesn't respond. after hours, unless it's an extremely severely injured or abandoned, abused animal. So that is actually, the 911 calls have kind of slowed down a lot. So that's cut back on overtime a whole lot.
Yeah, okay. I just
But-
seen it. I said, the number's great. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
We're running as lean as we can possibly run. And we've got a really good team, and the board is nonstop working on how to keep everything streamlined, and we're doing big things around here. I'm pretty excited.
Good
Debbie,
job.
how many animal control officers do we have at the moment?
We have 2, and I don't think we'll need to hire a 3rd one.
All right.
Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome. Behind me, I don't know if you guys have seen, but this is Tara. Say hi, Tara.
Hello.
She is our marketing coordinator. She took over, I believe, November the 30th. And hopefully with the new year coming and all of our fundraisers canceled for the entire 2020, we hope to come up with some pretty good ideas on how to raise some funds for the Humane Society, because as you know, it's a struggle. But everybody's working well here. We had a huge Empty the Shelter event December 9th through 13th. So we adopted a lot of animals out. We're going to continue to try to move as many out into rescue as possible, so we never have to worry about being over capacity.
Excellent.
Things are good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions of
Merry
Debbie?
Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas to you, Debbie, and all your crew.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Next on our list is detention center reports, but I don't think Amy's with us. Maybe there's nothing to report. I do know they had a bit of a flooding problem last week that they were able to fix and had filed an insurance claim for, I believe. Either of the members of the jail committee, Master McCullum or Master Moran, anything new to report that you know from the jail?
We did have a meeting, but there's nothing in particular that we need to discuss, I don't think. The T-shirt contest was really fun. I enjoyed the pictures of it. They gave a little bit of happiness at the jail.
I'll let you know that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m., I'm going to be at the jail handing out service awards. And normally we do that in one big celebration every year up here at the courthouse, but of course we can't do that this year. So if you're available tomorrow at 9 a.m., you want to join in on that little festivity, please feel free.
Yeah, the meeting was good. The staff is really working hard, and they just keep overcoming one obstacle after the other. You know, whether it's COVID and dealing with the prisoners and the water breaks, they're doing a heck of a good job.
Thank you. Next, we'll turn to sheriff's reports. You have your monthly report in your packet. After period review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those reports.
I move to accept, Judge.
You have a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Master Putman, second by Master Moran. Any questions of Sheriff Brady? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Sheriff, before we leave that, I didn't want to let us get into the holidays and into the next year without maybe giving you a chance to talk about a situation that occurred with one of your deputies recently that was a great outcome. I think you remember what I'm talking about, helping a person who was in some mental distress. You mind describing that a little bit?
Thank you, Judge. I had mentioned it last time, but in a little more detail, it was actually within the city limits, but our deputy was the closest unit when a call came out that there was a citizen who was having emotional issues and in fact had gone to a room in their house with a gun in their hand and was threatening suicide. And Aaron Daniels, one of our great young deputies, was closest, so he went first. He made contact with the person first. The person literally was gun in hand. We got the video of it. He did a great job of talking to the person, of counseling with the person. City police arrived a few minutes later, but they were used basically as a backup once you establish communication with somebody. it's best to have that person maintain communication. He was able to talk this person into surrendering the gun. They went for mental health evaluation and for medical treatment, which is what they should have gotten anyway. We were, they don't need to go to jail for things like that. They need help. But Aaron was just, it's pretty interesting on the video, his patience, his compassion, just a great job. And I'm sure that the family that was involved appreciates that the police didn't come in there brainstorming or storming the house, and handle it very delicately, and very proud of him, and just a great job. And thank you for giving us a chance to talk about that.
Thanks again to Deputy Daniels. That's a good story. Good story. We appreciate that. Anything else, Sheriff?
No, it's a tough time of the year with the COVID and all the other things going on, and just glad to work in a great community and working with great people all over county government. And even though we've had kind of a struggle this year with the COVID and all the challenges, feel like we're very blessed. You got to look at the positive things and feel like we're blessed. So things are good in the sheriff's office.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Next, we'll go to County Clerk Renisa Abner for your report. It's in your packets. Anything you want to add there, Renisa?
No, you can see the figures. Good morning, everybody. Merry
Good
Christmas.
morning.
So glad to see everybody. I, like Steve, had a bout with COVID. So I can tell you it's nothing to play with. It's very serious. My husband and I both had it, but we are both now healthy and well. But I'm thankful for everyone on the court and the judge, and working with all of you has been great this year. My fees are up. We've had a wonderful year despite all the challenges. Financially, my fees are up, and we're doing very well. Compared to November of last year, our excess fees are up $17,000 for the month. And the total given to the county for this month is up $20,000 compared to last November. So we are doing well here, and looking forward to the holidays and the new year, getting off to a good start.
I'd make a motion to accept the report, and you're doing a fantastic job. It's really, keep it going.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion by Master McCollum, a second by Master Barry. Any other questions of Renisa? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? And I will second Charlie McCollum's motion that you're doing an awesome job and should keep it up. Many compliments to you and your team, Renisa.
Thank you.
And Steve Gold has a pinch hitter today. Kyle Evans from County Attorney's Office is sitting in, and Kyle, I'll let you go over the county attorney payments.
Thank you, Judge. Just two payments today. One check in the amount of $13.89 for dental and life insurance. Another $458.33, which is a supplement from the city for assistant county attorney salaries, for a total today of only $472.22, bringing this fiscal year's total to present date $97,396.33. Judge.
Make a motion
Mr. Gold has tendered those to Kurt upstairs yesterday, I believe.
He said, I make a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion by Master McCollum, second by Master Southard. Any questions of Kyle? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Kyle. We'll go to Treasurer Brenda Ryder for her reports, starting with fund transfers. Brenda, you're on mute.
Okay, let's do this again. Okay, the fund transfers are as presented, and they are reallocating appropriations within the existing budget. The bottom of the sheet that you were given, you will see cash transfers. The first two are budgeted transfers, moving funds from the general fund to the road fund and from the general fund to the LGEA. The last three cash transfers are transferring to appropriate accounts to align with the original budget.
I'll make a comment on a couple of these. The rock materials transfers to help cover some rock materials expenses that we incurred. We're going to be getting those reimbursed by EDA. So we're just, taking care of the bills we pay now. We turn in the bills to the federal government and they reimburse us. So that's part of the reason we're transferring money now in the road fund. And then the LGEA fund, Magistrate Southern and our other rural magistrates should appreciate that we have asked the Flood Mitigation Board, on which Magistrate Southern serves, to be a heck of a lot more aggressive if we can on cleaning. And we were willing to help support that financially because we understand the importance, especially from I-69 down to the lower reaches of Canoe Creek. And they're beginning to do that, right, Tim? And so we've incurred a little bit more expense, but based on what we saw earlier this spring and summer, it's definitely worthwhile. And we want to continue to encourage the Flood Mitigation Board to clean up towards I-69, even if it means adjusting our budget. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
So that's what that transfer is about. So any other questions about transfers? All those in favor say aye.
We need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I'll make to approve.
Sorry. Magistrate McCullough made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Magistrate Berry made a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Man, I was in such a good roll there with the motions and the seconds. I usually stumble once or twice, and there you go. I was trying to get through a whole meeting without making that mistake. But next, we have claims.
The bank balances after paying claims today, you have received those, and the day-to-day appropriation line should be at approximately 50%. I do have additional claims in the general fund to Courier and Press in the amount of $2,013.31. This is for election materials and supplies, and is to come from that appropriation line. To Roy Hunter CPA in the amount of $9,450. This is for 50% of the fee of the fiscal court audit for year ending June 30th, 2020, is to come from the general fund auditing appropriation line. That audit is nearing completion with the CPA firm, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, and then will be forwarded to the state for review. To Angela Comer in the amount of $4,312.60. This is for training incentive completion for calendar year 2020 and is to be paid with the January 7th, 2021 payroll. And this is to come from the judges training incentive appropriation line. To Paula Wilson and Brenda Ryder, each $4,312.60. This is for training incentive completion for calendar year 2020 and is to be paid with the January 7th, 2021 payroll. And this is to come from the treasurer's training incentive appropriation line. To the Kentucky State Treasurer in the amount of $7,378.10. This is for the sheriff's fee audit for year ending December 31st, 2019, and is to come from the general fund auditing appropriation line. The grants fund to Sign Design in the amount of $575. This is for Kentucky Pride grant supplies and is to come from that appropriation line. To Liberty Tire in the amount of $1,215. This is for the waste tire grant and is to come from that appropriation line. Are there any questions about these or the other claims?
Any questions? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion to accept.
I have a motion from Magistrate Berry,
Second.
second by Magistrate Southern to pay the claims. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Back here, anything else, Treasurer Ryder?
That's all. Thank you.
That's okay. I had initially intended to go into executive session, but on second thought, after meeting with Finance Committee yesterday, I really don't think we have to. I'll begin good to the county by talking about a couple things that we need to take care of. Number one, 25 years ago, the county issued then Hudson Foods, now Tyson Foods, an industrial revenue bond that basically was an incentive towards getting them to come to Henderson County that relieved them of real property taxes for 25 years, and that bond matures this year. It expires this year. And we are in the process of closing that out to get Tyson back on the tax rolls. So the procedure for that is spelled out in the original bond that was approved by Fiscal Court and implemented. But I thought it might be nice to go ahead and get a voice vote from Fiscal Court to give me the power to close out that bond and any requirement that I have as judge to go ahead and get that done. And we're working with Tyson Corporate to make that go as smoothly as possible. But I did think it would be good to, I'm sorry. Is that a motion? Is that a motion?
I would make a motion to allow Brad to do all things necessary to complete the finalization of the Hudson Tyson bond.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
I have a second by Magistrate Southard. Any questions about that? It's good news to finally get through that IRB and get them back on the payroll, get them back on the tax roll. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, the occasion of the closeout of that bond prompted County Attorney Gold to suggest that we refresh what's called the Industrial Development Authority here, which is a special kind of subsection of county government that was established here in 2003 under KRS. And it is basically an arm that the county can use to manage real estate transactions related to economic development or commercial development. And again, it was established in 2003, I suppose to help with maybe what was going on in 4-Star Industrial Park at the time. And then it stayed pretty dormant until 2015 when Judge Executive McCormick reappointed the IDA board, I guess to, again, refresh it, get it out of its defunct status at that point. That was in 2015. And nothing has really gone on with that IDA since then. But both with the closeout of the Tyson bond and all the interest that we've had on the 425 bypass site that you've heard lately, and we've helped the city upgrade, Mr. Gold thought it'd be good for us to go once again, refresh the IDA, make appointments, and make sure that we are correct, square with the state and all the necessary filings. As Magistrate McCullum wanted me to check on yesterday, we're going to be in the process of making sure we're up to speed on that. And it is a vessel through which the county can deal with economic development real estate plans without a lot of without the bond debt appearing on our books. So you're going to be learning more about that as hopefully as we have some sort of big economic development project that comes our way. So with the court's permission, I'd like to appoint some members to the IDA. And these are going to be staggered terms, and I'll be working this out with the members who accept. And we're going to start with Magistrate Putman, who was appointed to the IDA back in 2015 and has agreed to continue. Thank you, Magistrate Putman. Also, Bill Latta, who is a member of the 4-Star board, and I thought would be a good person to have on the IDA as a liaison between the activities of the 4-Star board and the county. Missy Vanderpool, who is our current economic development executive. John Henderson is a local attorney, very versed in land and real estate transactions. Scott Audis, who's a local banker and might bring a lot of expertise in that regard to this authority. And finally, Steve Hutto, who's an executive with what's called Sabic now, used to be GE Plastics, who lives in Henderson County, very sharp guy, very organizationally minded. And those would be our 6 appointments to, again, refresh the IDA and get it back in a groove, get it back square with the state, and be ready in case we have any land deals. And I ran this by the Finance Committee yesterday, and I think we were all in agreement that was a good thing to do. I'll ask Magistrate McCullum or Magistrate Putman for any further comments on that.
No, I would agree with the judge. It was, the board's been stagnant for quite some time. It's probably, we're way past due to get it back and up and functioning.
Brad, I mean, I agree with Butch, and I would make a motion. I think it's a good board, a good group of people. I would make a motion to approve that. But I'd also like to ask maybe if we could, I hate to put anything more on Kurt, but I'd like to calendar their meetings once a year so we don't, this has happened over and over again. This happened on the Henderson Courthouse Corporation. We let it expire. And then when we had to deed the property in that case to this corporation in order to do some bonds or whatnot. And then that corporation was defunct when it was time to convey the property back. We had to go back and re-resurrect it. So these things seem to be getting lost. No board member or somebody picks it up and says, hey, we got to have a meeting this year. It can be a quick meeting. We just need to make sure that those things happen and that they keep whoever the registered agent is gets the paperwork back to the Secretary of State. So if we could just calendar that so it gets done once a year, I think that would be helpful.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. But I did hear a motion there. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
We have a motion from Master McCollum, a second from Magistrate Moran to reestablish the IDA board. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? One more item. Our occupational tax administrator, Brent Hepner, sent me a letter with a request for fiscal court. He has noticed in recent weeks, because of the very well publicized delays at the United States Post Office, especially during holiday season, that there are corporations who are sending in filings to him, especially from out of state or big cities around the country. They have a lot of trouble getting them to him by filing deadlines. They're postmarked correctly, but they're not getting to him in time. And in most cases, that would mean applying penalties of some sort. But he believes that this is a function of the United States Post Office's difficulties. And he's asking the court if for at least the first quarter of next year, if he determines that the filer made a good faith effort to get their filing in on time, if it comes in late, that we waive those fees for the first quarter and allow him to make the best judgments he can about whether these filers were making a good faith effort and not apply those extra fees. And I think it's well taken. If any of you have tried to send a Christmas gift lately, you know how that's going. And I do believe in this time of COVID, which has impacted the United States Post Office, this is a reasonable request and will help Brent in this regard. So any thoughts about that?
I thought that the postmark was if it was postmarked by the date, it wouldn't be late anyway. I thought that's the way the law reads.
It has to arrive at our office in some cases. Doesn't have to.
May I interject, sir? It goes by postmark date, but what we're finding right now is we know when companies are sending things out, and they are actually, like for a while, Evansville was actually sending their mail to a facility outside the state to be processed before it got canceled. So we were getting stuff that we knew had been sent out a week ago, but it only got postmarked within the last couple of days. So it's a matter of the mail's been sitting somewhere before it's actually getting postmarked.
So but it does go off postmark.
It does go off, right. The tax rate's based on postmark, and that's the problem. It's not a matter of us receiving it on time. It's a matter of it's sitting in a post box somewhere before it's getting postmarked this time of the year.
I understand.
Well, I know my sister lives in Evansville, and it's been taking 4 days to get stuff from. I mean, it's something was just not right. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that something was going on in Evansville because all our mail, I think, has to go to Evansville anyway to be whatever it's done. And so it's just sort of crazy. But yeah, I think this is only fair, Brad, that we do that and give them, if they've tried to do the right thing, I don't want to punish somebody.
I agree.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
I think Brent does a good job of determining who's making good faith effort and who might not. So, for a voice vote, just to make sure we have it on record. Anybody want to make a motion to allow Brent to waive those fees for the first quarter if he determines the filer's made good faith effort?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Master Putman, second by Master Barry. Any other questions about that? And if you do have questions, feel free to contact Brent. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. I believe those are all the little bits of business I have before we go into rest of Gooding County. So I know we have Kenny Garrett with us, EMA Director Kenny Garrett. And Kenny, I want to call on you if you unmute, just to give any updates you can on vaccine rollout that might impact Henderson County.
Sure. Well, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
We just finished our bi-weekly COVID command staff meeting just before this, and an update that we got today and yesterday was basically we're expecting any day now the first round of Moderna vaccine to come into Henderson. It'll be a small batch that is scheduled to go to first responders, healthcare workers, those that are going to have direct patient contact, people that are already on a they pre-registered to get the vaccine. So that first 100 doses we're expecting anytime. Should be here, may be here today. We don't know. As this thing starts to ramp up and Moderna starts getting out more, that's going to be where we see most of our vaccine come from in Henderson, will be from the Moderna vaccine. So as most of you know, that's the one that doesn't have to be kept at minus 94 degrees or whatever it is. It can be held in a freezer and rolled out. So from the hospital, they basically said that their volume has declined on the drive-through COVID testing, which is a good thing. And we hope that continues to happen. They also talked about the overall census is low in the hospital, so that's a good thing. Their PPE supplies and all their supplies are stable, as are ours. So we've got people still making requests for masks and gloves and gowns and things like that, and we're filling those as they come in and get those out to various departments. So beyond that, we're just really kind of waiting for that vaccine to get here and those numbers to start going up when we start seeing some larger amounts. And it'll be later on after the first of the year before we really see the public start to get on a list to be vaccinated, or even to come through some type of a system where we set up some kind of drive-through vaccination, or whatever the plan becomes at that point.
Kenny, are long-term care facilities kind of a focus of the state as well?
They are. Long-term care facilities are actually on a different plan, and they are at this point being vaccinated through a couple of the different pharmacies like Walgreens and CVS. So they're taking care of the staff and the patients at those long-term care facilities.
Anything else to add, Kenny?
No, sir. No, sir. Merry Christmas.
It's good news about the vaccine. I hope we can organize the rollout efficiently and quickly and see what happens. Any other questions for Kenny? Thank you very much, Kenny. You're doing a good job. Keep up the good work. So with that, I'll turn it over to Gooding County, and we'll start with Master Putman.
Thank you, Judge. Just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and looking forward to 2021 and get this 2020 behind us. Everybody in this country's had their share of problems. We live in a great community that's pulled together and, in my opinion, done quite well during this whole episode. And even though our numbers have kind of been on the rise here lately, I have great hopes with the vaccine that we'll get all this under control, and 2021 will be a very prosperous and great year for our community. And thank you, Judge. All's good in the fourth. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Master Putman. Master McCullough.
I too would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. It's been great working with everybody. I just don't want us to let down on our mask, washing our hands, and social distancing. Unfortunately, I think things are going to get worse after Christmas and New Year's. It's just the nature of the disease, and the way it compounds. And I think we're going to see a little bit more surge. And we just got to keep trying to be safe and keep what we're doing is trying not to help ourselves. It is to help us from accidentally spreading it to grandma, parents, children, whoever. And we all just need to work together to try to do that. We've got a great community. It's been really, really heartwarming to see everybody come out for the kids, for everything that the Bourbon Club did, the Salvation Army, and what the Lions Club and the everybody they did everybody's really worked. This is just really a neat community, and it's a very generous community, and I'm just proud to be part of it. And I would like to say that all is good in the fifth, as best as it can be. And just thanks everybody for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Master McCollum. Master Moran.
I would like to agree with everything that the others have said. I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I encourage everybody to please stay safe for this holiday. And I look forward to working with all of you all in the coming year.
Thank you, Master Moran. Master Berry.
Thank you, Judge. Well, Charlie pretty well covered everything, I believe. It was good, Charlie. You're right on the money there. So I don't have a whole lot to add. Just agree with the others, and I wish everybody Merry Christmas, everybody in the county. I did get my old phone number back, so everybody maybe knows that, the one I've had for years and years, and I was excited. So I think we're all good in the first, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, Master Berry. And Master Southern.
I have to agree with what everyone said. We do live in a very generous community, and it's nice that people band together and help each other. It's a really nice thing to see. All's good in District 3, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, and I'll say that we certainly wish everybody in the community a Merry Christmas. I want to brag on our team at the county. It's been a crazy, wild, unprecedented year, and yet through it all of our departments were able to continue to do their jobs, figure out a way to get the job done. Went through 2 unusual elections in the middle of all this and handled it smoothly. We never stopped providing all the services the road department needed to provide, and got a lot of good stuff done this year in the road department. Our jail has been literally under the gun in some cases in dealing with the pandemic and making sure they didn't have huge outbreaks there and cause a whole bunch of complications. They've been around the clock working to make sure that they protected both their inmates and the public and their staff. I'm really proud of them. And the sheriff's department, people forget, law enforcement continues. No matter what, our guys are out there 24/7 doing their job. So I'm really proud of the fact that even in the middle of the pandemic, county government continued to deliver the services we are tasked to deliver, and did it in a first-class fashion. And there were a lot of accomplishments this year. I know everybody will say that 2020 was dominated by the pandemic, and in many respects that's true, but we did have a lot of good things happen in county government in the county. And before the end of the year, I'm going to be compiling those hopefully and letting everybody know that besides COVID, there were other topics and things to celebrate, stuff to focus on that were good. So I appreciate everybody on this court. I think it's been a good year. Calendar year is obviously not our main focus. It's fiscal year, but this is the time of year when you kind of look back and summarize some things that happened in the past 12 months, and we've done some good stuff. We've handled some stuff well. We've contributed to the vitality of our county in multiple ways. I would encourage everybody to do their last minute Christmas shopping with locally owned businesses if they can. And if you're going to go out to dinner, eat at locally owned restaurants and help them as much as possible. This is a big time of year for them, especially with COVID. So I'm really proud of everybody. I'm thankful for our department heads and elected officials for the help they give us. And I think 2021 is going to be much more hopeful, even better, and on to bigger and better things. So thank you all. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn for the year 2020.
So moved.
A motion by Master Berry and second by Master Southern. All those in favor can have a very Merry Christmas. See ya.
Merry Christmas,
Thank
guys.
you, Judge.
Chris,
Merry Christmas.
Everybody.